My name is Ethan Cole, and at 38, I thought I had life figured out. I run Cole Security Solutions, a fencing business in Nashville, Tennessee, that's grown from a one-man operation to a trusted name in residential and commercial barriers. It's grueling work, long hours, tight deadlines, but it's honest, and it's provided a good life for my family. My wife, Mia, 35, is a financial advisor with a sharp mind and a charm that makes everyone feel like they're her best friend. Our daughter, Lily, is 8, a whirlwind of energy with her mother's brains and my stubborn streak. Together, we've built something solid, or so I thought. 2 months ago, my world started to crack, and it all traced back to my brother Ryan's wedding. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to the beginning, to a time when I believed my life was unshakable. It was early April, and Nashville was buzzing with spring energy. My business was riding high after landing a contract to install anti-climb fencing around a state prison in Clarksville. The deal was a game-changer, 6 figures, tight timeline, and a chance to break into bigger government projects. I was working late nights, double-checking blueprints and coordinating with my crew, but I loved the grind. It meant security for Mia and Lily, and maybe a college fund for our girl. Mia was my rock. She handled our finances with precision, balancing my chaotic work schedule with her own at the bank. She'd always been the one to keep me grounded, whether it was reminding me to eat during a 12-hour workday or cheering at Lily's soccer games. We met 12 years ago when I walked into her bank to deposit a client's payment. She teased me about my muddy boots, and by the time I left, I had her number. 3 years later, we were married in a small ceremony at a local chapel, with my brother Ryan as my best man. He gave a speech about how Mia smoothed out my rough edges, and he wasn't wrong. Ryan, 36, is a high school history teacher and football coach in Chattanooga, 2 hours from Nashville. He's got this easy charm I've always envied, the kind that draws people in. When he started dating Sarah, a nurse, 5 years ago, we all knew she was the one. She's practical, kind, and keeps Ryan's scattered side in check. Their engagement last fall, during halftime at a homecoming game, no less, was pure Ryan, big, bold, and heartfelt. The wedding was set for late April at a stone chapel by the Tennessee River, a place Sarah had dreamed of since she was a kid. As the wedding approached, the prison project hit a crunch. The state needed the fencing done by early May, no exceptions. I realized I'd have to miss Ryan's wedding to oversee the installation. It gutted me. Ryan and I had always been close, the kind of brothers who'd fight for each other no matter what. I called him to break the news. "Man, this contract is huge," I said, pacing my office. "But it means I can't make the wedding. I'm sorry." Ryan didn't hesitate. "Ethan, you've got to do what's best for your family. Mia will be there, and she'll represent you guys. Don't sweat it." Mia was supportive, too. "This is what we've been working toward," she said, squeezing my hand. "I'll go, take tons of pictures, and make sure Lily has a blast with her friend Emma that weekend." I trusted Mia completely. Why wouldn't I? She'd always been dependable, the kind of wife who'd drop everything to help with Lily's school projects or plan our summer camping trips. She was excited about the wedding, talking about catching up with Ryan's family and meeting Sarah's college friends. I didn't think twice when she spent extra time picking out a gift or getting her car ready for the drive to Chattanooga. The Friday before the wedding, I helped Mia load her overnight bag into her SUV. She kissed me goodbye, her eyes bright. "I'll miss you," she said. "But I'll have fun for both of us." I stood in the driveway, watching her pull away, feeling lucky to have a wife who could handle family obligations while I chased the biggest deal of my career. If you told me then that this weekend would unravel everything, I'd have laughed. That Saturday, I was up at 5 a.m., driving to the Clarksville prison site with my crew, Marcus, my lead installer, and Jake, a sharp younger guy. The warden, Carla Evans, met us at the gate. "Mr. Cole, your reputation got you this job," she said, her tone all business. "But any slip-up could cost us. I'm counting on you." "We won't let you down," I promised. We worked like machines, aligning heavy-duty panels and testing anchor points under the spring sun. The anti-climb fencing was specialized, designed to deter even the most determined escape attempts. Every bolt had to be perfect, every measurement exact. By Saturday evening, we were ahead of schedule, and I felt a surge of pride. This job could open doors to federal contracts, a future where Lily would never want for anything. Around 8 p.m., Mia called. "Ethan, the wedding was beautiful," she said, her voice bubbly. "Sarah looked stunning, and Ryan teared up during his vows. The reception's in full swing, great band, great food. Sounds like you're having a blast," I said, smiling despite my exhaustion. "Tell me about it." "Oh, it's amazing. I danced with your Uncle Mike, and Sarah's college friends are a riot. They've adopted me for the night." She laughed, and we talked for a few more minutes before she had to get back to the party. She sounded happy, and I felt good knowing she was enjoying herself while I held down the fort. Sunday morning, we finished the final gate installation and ran a full security test. Everything checked out. Warden Evans shook my hand. "Impressive work, Mr. Cole. You delivered." That handshake was worth every sleepless night. I called Mia to share the news. She was at breakfast with Ryan's family, about to drive home. "I miss you more than I expected," she said, her voice soft. "Can't wait to see you." When Mia pulled into our driveway that afternoon, I was in the garage cleaning tools from the job. She stepped out of her SUV, looking tired but content. "Hey you," she said, wrapping me in a hug. "How's my favorite contractor?" "Exhausted but victorious," I said, grabbing her bag. We sat on the couch with sweet tea, and she told me about the wedding, Uncle Mike's terrible dance moves, Ryan's emotional toast, the way Sarah's friends pulled her into their circle. She showed me photos on her phone, the chapel, the reception, her laughing with cousins. In every shot, she looked radiant, like she belonged there. That night, we ordered pizza and watched a movie with Lily, who'd just gotten back from her friend's house. Mia curled up against me, and as we fell asleep, I felt grateful for the life we built. The prison job was a success, Ryan was happily married, and my family was whole. I had no idea that Mia's stories about the wedding were true, except for one crucial detail. Something happened that weekend that would shatter everything I believed about the woman I loved. The weeks after my brother Ryan's wedding felt like a victory lap. My name is Ethan Cole, and at 38, I was riding high. My Nashville-based fencing business, Cole Security Solutions, had just nailed a major prison contract in Clarksville, opening doors to bigger opportunities. My wife, Mia, 35, was back to her routine as a financial advisor, and our 8-year-old daughter, Lily, was thriving in school. Life seemed perfect, until my body started telling me otherwise. About 2 weeks after the wedding, I began feeling off. At first, I chalked it up to exhaustion. The prison job had demanded 16-hour days, and running a business isn't exactly a walk in the park. But the discomfort grew, subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. I tried powering through, cutting back on coffee, eating better, even taking a rare day off. Nothing worked. Mia noticed it too. One evening, while we were cleaning up after dinner, she put her hand on my arm. "Ethan, you've been off for days. You need to see a doctor." "I'm fine," I said, brushing it off. I've always believed in handling problems head-on, and running to a doctor for every ache felt weak. But Mia wasn't having it. "This isn't just about you," she said, her voice firm but caring. "Lily and I need you healthy. Please go see Dr. Harper." Her concern felt genuine, like the Mia I trusted for 12 years. So I gave in and booked an appointment for the following Thursday. That morning, I drove to Dr. Harper's office in downtown Nashville, expecting a quick visit. Maybe a vitamin deficiency or too much stress, I thought. Dr. Harper, who'd been our family doctor for years, was thorough. He asked about my symptoms, when they started, how they felt, what I'd been doing differently. After a physical exam, he leaned back in his chair. "Ethan, I'm going to run some tests. Based on what you're describing, we need to rule out a few things. Could be stress, an infection, or something else. We'll know soon." "Infection?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "What kind?" "Let's not jump ahead," he said calmly. "We'll take blood and run a few labs. Results should be back in a couple of days." He sent me to the lab down the hall, and I left the office feeling oddly reassured. Whatever it was, we'd fix it. That's how I approach everything: identify the problem, solve it, move on. I didn't tell Mia much when I got home. "Just some tests," I said when she asked. "Probably nothing serious." She hugged me, her warmth familiar and comforting. Good. You're doing the right thing. Looking back, that was the last moment I saw her as the woman I'd married. Friday afternoon, I was in my office reviewing bids for a new commercial project when my phone rang. Dr. Harper's name flashed on the screen. Ethan, can you come in this afternoon? I have your results, and we should discuss them in person. His tone was steady but urgent, the kind that makes your gut twist. Doctors don't call you in for good news. I told my crew I'd be back later and drove to his office, my mind racing through possibilities, none of them good. In his office, Dr. Harper closed the door and sat across from me. Ethan, the tests show you have chlamydia. It's a sexually transmitted infection, but it's treatable with antibiotics. The words hit like a punch. I stared at him, my brain refusing to process. Chlamydia? That's impossible. There's got to be a mistake. I know this is a shock, he said, his voice gentle but firm. The test is definitive. Chlamydia is transmitted through sexual contact. It's common, and we can treat it, but we need to act quickly. I leaned forward, my hands gripping the chair. Doc, I've only ever been with Mia. 12 years, not a single slip. You're telling me I have an STD? My voice was louder than I intended, but the room felt like it was closing in. Dr. Harper nodded, his expression sympathetic. I've been your doctor long enough to know you're a faithful husband. But chlamydia doesn't appear out of nowhere. Both you and Mia need to be tested and treated. It's standard protocol. The implication sank in like a blade. If I had chlamydia, and I'd only been with Mia, then she... I couldn't finish the thought. What if she doesn't have it? I asked, grasping for any other explanation. Dr. Harper hesitated. Given the timing of your symptoms, about 2 weeks ago, it's likely recent exposure. If you've been monogamous, Mia needs to be tested immediately. He handed me a prescription for antibiotics. Take these for a week. No physical contact until you're both clear. Have Mia call to schedule an appointment. I left his office in a daze, the prescription bottle heavy in my hand. My truck felt like a cage as I drove home, my mind spinning. Mia, my wife, the woman I trusted with everything, had she betrayed me? Was there another explanation? A lab error? A medical fluke? But deep down I knew. The timing pointed to Ryan's wedding weekend, when she'd been in Chattanooga, dancing and laughing with strangers. I sat in my driveway for 15 minutes, staring at the prescription, trying to figure out how to confront her. Lily was home, probably doing homework or watching TV. I couldn't let her see this unravel. When I walked into the house, Mia was in the kitchen, chopping vegetables for dinner. Lily sat at the table, coloring. Everything looked so normal, so painfully ordinary. Hey, honey, Mia said, glancing up with a smile. How'd it go with Dr. Harper? I looked at Lily, then back at Mia. Lily, sweetheart, go finish your coloring upstairs. Mom and I need to talk. Lily frowned, sensing the tension. Is everything okay, Daddy? It's fine, kiddo. Just grown-up stuff. She grabbed her crayons and headed upstairs. I closed the kitchen door and faced Mia, who was watching me now, her smile gone. Ethan, what's wrong? She asked, setting down the knife. I placed the prescription bottle on the table between us. Dr. Harper says I have chlamydia. A sexually transmitted infection. Her face went pale, her hands freezing mid-motion. That's impossible. She whispered. That's what I said. I kept my voice steady, watching her every move. I told him I've only been with you. So how do I have this, Mia? She looked away, her hands trembling. Maybe the test is wrong. It's not. I stepped closer. He says you need to be tested and treated too. So I'm asking you, right now, to tell me the truth. How did this happen? Mia's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't answer. Her silence was louder than any confession. Mia, I said, my voice low and hard. I've been faithful for 12 years. If I have an STD, it came from you. And I'm thinking it happened at Ryan's wedding. She flinched, tears spilling over. Ethan, I don't know. Don't lie to me. I snapped, louder than I meant to. You were gone that weekend, acting like everything was perfect. What happened in Chattanooga? Mia sank into a chair, covering her face with her hands. After a long moment, she looked up, her voice barely audible. It was at the wedding. There was this guy, someone Sarah knew from college. We were drinking, talking, and it just happened. The words were a sledgehammer to my chest. It just happened, I repeated, my anger rising. You slept with a stranger while I was working my ass off for our family? I was drunk, she said, sobbing now. It was a mistake, Ethan. I didn't mean for it to happen. Who was he? I demanded. I don't know his last name, she said, looking down. His name was Caleb. It was one night, and I regret it every second. One night. One choice. And it had infected me, our marriage, our life. I turned away, staring out the window, trying to keep my rage in check. You didn't just betray me, I said. You exposed me to a disease. And then you came home and acted like nothing happened. Ethan, please, she begged. I love you. We can work through this. I faced her, my voice cold. You don't get to decide that. I'm sleeping in the guest room tonight. Tomorrow, we're both going to Dr. Harper. After that, I'm calling a lawyer. As I walked away, her sobs echoed behind me. But I didn't turn back. My perfect life was a lie, and I wasn't going to let her tears stop me from finding justice. I'm Ethan Cole, 38, a Nashville fencing contractor whose life unraveled after a routine doctor's visit revealed I had chlamydia, a disease I could only have gotten from my wife, Mia. Her confession of a drunken one-night stand at my brother Ryan's wedding in Chattanooga gutted me. 12 years of trust, shattered in a single night. But I wasn't about to let betrayal define me. I needed answers, and I needed a plan. The morning after Mia's confession, the air in our house felt heavy with unspoken accusations. I barely slept in the guest room, my mind replaying her words, "It just happened." As if a choice like that could be accidental. Over breakfast, I kept things normal for our 8-year-old daughter, Lily, joking about her soccer practice while Mia avoided my eyes. But once Lily was off to school, I turned to Mia. We're going to Dr. Harper today. Both of us. Get ready. She nodded, her face pale, and didn't argue. The drive to Dr. Harper's office was silent, the hum of the truck's engine the only sound between us. At the clinic, Dr. Harper explained the protocol: antibiotics for me, testing for Mia, and no physical contact until we were both clear. He asked about symptoms. I started feeling off 2 weeks after the wedding, I said, my voice tight. Mia admitted she had no symptoms, which Dr. Harper noted was common in women. He drew her blood and handed us prescriptions, his professionalism a stark contrast to the chaos in my head. Back home, Mia tried to talk. Ethan, I know I messed up. Can we at least discuss this? For Lily? I cut her off, my anger barely contained. Lily deserves better than a mother who risks her family's health. We'll talk when I'm ready. I walked out to my truck and called Tom Bradley, my lawyer, who'd handled my business contracts for years. Tom, I need divorce papers drawn up. Mia cheated, and I've got an STD to prove it. Jesus, Ethan, Tom said. I'm sorry. Is the house in your name? It's my mom's, technically. Mia has no claim. Good. That simplifies things. Kids? Lily's 8. I want full custody. Document everything, Tom advised. Infidelity and health risks strengthen your case. I'll start the paperwork. Next, I called Ryan. He was grading papers in Chattanooga when I told him about Mia's betrayal and the chlamydia. God, Ethan, I had no idea, he said, his voice thick with guilt. This happened at my wedding? Not your fault, I said. But I need to know who this guy was. Mia said his name's Caleb, a college friend of Sarah's. Can you find out more? I'll talk to Sarah tonight, Ryan promised. We'll get you answers. That evening, while Lily was at a friend's house, I sat in my office, staring at the wedding photos Mia had shared. Her smile in every shot felt like a lie now. My phone buzzed with a text from Ryan. Sarah's devastated. The guy's Caleb Reed, 37, married, lives in Atlanta. Works in marketing. She's pulling his contact info from old college group chats. Caleb Reed. A name to pin my anger to. I didn't want to confront him directly. That was a path to trouble. Instead, I called a private investigator, Laura Gaines, recommended by a business contact. I need everything on Caleb Reed, I told her. Address, job, family, anything relevant. Discreetly. Got it, Laura said. Give me 48 hours. The next day, Mia and I moved through the house like strangers. She tried to act normal, making dinner, asking about my day, but I kept my distance. When Lily asked why I was sleeping in the guest room, I told her. Mom and I are working through some grown-up stuff, sweetheart. Nothing changes how much we love you. She nodded, but her eyes were worried, and it broke my heart. By Wednesday, Laura called with details. Caleb Reed, 37, married to Emily Reed, 35, 2 kids, ages 6 and 9. He's a senior account manager at a marketing firm in Atlanta. Lives in a suburb, nice house, no criminal record. But here's the kicker, Emily visited her doctor last week. Guess what? She's got chlamydia too. The news hit like a spark to gasoline. Caleb hadn't just betrayed me, he'd endangered his own family. Can you get me Emily's contact info? I asked. Already on it, Laura said. I'll email you by tomorrow. That night, I sat down to write a letter to Emily Reed. My hand shook as I typed, but I kept it clear and factual. Mrs. Reed, I'm Ethan Cole from Nashville. Your husband, Caleb, had an affair with my wife, Mia, at a wedding in Chattanooga 3 weeks ago. Both contracted chlamydia, which was passed to me and likely to you. I've included medical records and a timeline. You deserve the truth about your husband's actions. I printed the letter, attached copies of my test results, and sealed it. This wasn't revenge, it was justice. Emily deserved to know what kind of man she was married to. The next morning, I mailed the letter to Emily's address in Atlanta, certified, to ensure it reached her. As I dropped it in the mailbox, a weight lifted, but the anger didn't. Mia's betrayal was one thing, but Caleb's recklessness had ripple effects, hurting 2 families. I wasn't going to let either of them walk away unscathed. Ryan called that evening. Sarah's furious with herself for inviting Caleb, he said. She had no idea he'd pull something like this. What's your next move? Divorce, I said. And making sure Caleb's wife knows the truth. After that, I protect Lily and move on. Ethan, you sure about this? Ryan asked. Divorce is big. Maybe counseling. She gave me an STD, Ryan. I interrupted. There's no coming back from that. Friday morning, Tom called. Papers are ready. I can have Mia served at her bank today. Public enough to make a point, but professional. You want to pull the trigger? Do it, I said. And push for full custody. Mia's judgment can't be trusted. By noon, Mia was served at work. She called me, sobbing. Ethan, you had them serve me in front of my coworkers? Everyone's talking. You humiliated me, I said coldly. Now you know how it feels. Ethan, please, she begged. I'll do anything to fix this. You fixed it when you slept with Caleb, I said. We're done. That afternoon, my phone rang. An unfamiliar number. This is Ethan Cole, I answered. Mr. Cole, it's Emily Reed. Her voice was steady but strained. I got your letter. We talked for nearly an hour. Emily confirmed she'd contracted chlamydia, unaware of its source until my letter. I thought it was a fluke, she said. Caleb swore he'd been faithful. Now I know he lied. She was already consulting a divorce lawyer and planned to confront Caleb that night. Thank you for telling me, she said. I deserve to know. So did I replied. I'm sorry you're going through this. No, Ethan, she said. You gave me the truth. That's more than Caleb ever did. As I hung up, I felt a grim satisfaction. The truth was out, and the consequences were coming for Mia and Caleb. But this wasn't the end. I had a daughter to protect, a business to run, and a life to rebuild. And I was just getting started. I'm Ethan Cole, a 38-year-old fencing contractor from Nashville, Tennessee. My world collapsed when a doctor's visit revealed I had chlamydia, a disease passed to me by my wife, Mia, after her one-night stand at my brother Ryan's wedding. Her betrayal with Caleb Reed, a married college friend of Ryan's fiancée, Sarah, wasn't just personal. It was a wrecking ball through 2 families. After exposing Caleb to his wife, Emily, and filing for divorce, I was ready to protect my daughter, Lily, and rebuild. But the consequences were just beginning to unfold. The day Mia was served divorce papers at her bank, the fallout hit hard. She came home that evening, her voice shaking with anger and tears. "Ethan, you had me served at work?" My colleagues were staring, whispering. "How could you? You risked my health and our family," I said, keeping my tone even. "You don't get to play the victim." I was done with her tears. Lily was at a friend's house, and I was grateful she didn't have to see this. Mia tried to plead again. "Can't we try counseling? For Lily's sake? Lily deserves a parent she can trust," I replied. "Right now, that's not you." I walked away, leaving her standing in the kitchen. That night, I called my lawyer, Tom Bradley, to confirm the next steps. "We're pushing for primary custody," he said. "The infidelity and health risk give you a strong case. Mia's got no claim to the house since it's in your mother's name. She'll have 30 days to move out once the judge signs off." "Good," I said. "I want this clean and fast." The next morning, I sat Lily down to explain what was happening in a way an 8-year-old could understand. "Sweetheart, your mom made some choices that hurt our family," I said, holding her hand. "She's still your mom, and you'll see her, but you'll live with me for now. Okay?" Lily's eyes were wide, but she nodded. "Are you mad at Mommy?" "I'm disappointed," I said honestly. "But I love you, and that's what matters most." She hugged me tightly, and I vowed to shield her from as much pain as possible. A week later, Emily Reed called with an update. "Caleb came clean after I confronted him," she said, her voice steady but tired. "He admitted to the affair and begged for forgiveness. I kicked him out. He's staying with his brother in Atlanta, and I'm filing for divorce." She paused. "I also got a call from his boss. Someone tipped them off about Caleb's behavior. He's been fired." I hadn't expected that. "Tipped them off?" "Yeah," Emily said. "An anonymous email with details about the affair and the health risks. His firm has a strict ethics policy. They let him go yesterday." I hadn't sent that email, but I wasn't surprised. My private investigator, Laura Gaines, had a knack for covering all bases. "Sounds like he's facing the consequences," I said. "He is," Emily replied. "I'm telling our kids he's moving out because he made bad choices. They deserve better, just like your daughter does." That conversation solidified my resolve. Caleb's life was unraveling, and Mia's was next. Her reputation at the bank took a hit after the public serving of divorce papers. Whispers spread through Nashville's tight-knit community, and her volunteer work at Lily's school dried up. Parents stopped inviting her to events, and her social circle shrank. She tried to keep up appearances, but the strain was obvious. Meanwhile, my business, Cole's Security Solutions, was thriving. The prison contract in Clarksville led to 2 more state projects, and my crew was busier than ever. I threw myself into work, ensuring every job was flawless. It kept my mind off the chaos at home and gave me a sense of control. Marcus, my lead installer, noticed my focus. "You okay, boss?" he asked one day at a job site. "You're working like you're on a mission." "I am," I said. "This business is Lily's future. I'm not letting anything derail it." By the end of the month, the divorce hearing was scheduled. Tom had built the airtight case: Mia's infidelity, the medical records proving she'd exposed me to chlamydia, and her lapse in judgment as a parent. The judge, a no-nonsense woman named Linda Carter, didn't hesitate. "Mr. Cole, you're awarded primary custody of Lily," she ruled. "Mrs. Cole will have supervised visitation every other weekend due to concerns about her decision-making." Mia's face crumpled, but I felt no sympathy. She'd made her choice. The house, owned by my mother, stayed with me. Mia was given 30 days to find a new place. I helped her pack, not out of kindness but to ensure she left on time. As she loaded boxes into her SUV, she tried one last time. "Ethan, I know I hurt you, but I'm trying to make things right. Can't we find a way forward? You made your choice in Chattanooga," I said. "Now live with it." To protect Lily, I moved us to a new house, a smaller, modern place closer to her school. It was a fresh start, free of memories of Mia's betrayal. Lily picked out her room's paint color, a bright yellow that matched her energy, and we spent a weekend setting up her space. "This is our home now, Daddy," she asked, taping up a drawing of us on her wall. Yep, I said, ruffling her hair. Just you and me, kiddo. A few days later, Emily sent me a text, Caleb's out of the house for good. I'm selling it and starting over with the kids. Thanks again for the truth, I replied, wishing her strength. Her words echoed in my mind, starting over. That's what I was doing too, but not without ensuring every loose end was tied. I called Laura Gaines for one final task. Can you confirm Caleb's job status and living situation? I asked. I want to know he's not skating by. Laura delivered within 24 hours. Caleb's crashing with his brother, unemployed, and blacklisted from major marketing firms in Atlanta. Word got around. He's toxic now. The news felt like closure. Mia was out of our home, her life in disarray. Caleb was paying a steep price. But I wasn't done yet. I had one more move to make, one that would ensure Lily and I could move forward without looking back. The truth had torn everything apart, but it was also the foundation for what came next. I'm Ethan Cole, a 38-year-old fencing contractor from Nashville, Tennessee. My life unraveled when I learned my wife, Mia, betrayed me with Caleb Reed at my brother Ryan's wedding, passing me chlamydia and shattering our 12-year marriage. I fought back with truth, exposing Caleb to his wife, Emily, and securing a divorce with primary custody of our 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Mia and Caleb faced the consequences of their actions, but this story isn't just about their downfall, it's about rebuilding stronger. 3 months after the divorce was finalized, life felt different but steady. Lily and I had settled into our new home, a compact house near her school with a backyard big enough for her to kick a soccer ball. She was adjusting, her laughter filling the house again, though she sometimes asked about Mia. Will Mommy be okay, Daddy? She'd say, her brow furrowed. She's figuring things out. I'd reply, keeping it simple. But you and me, we're a team. I kept Mia's supervised visits consistent, driving Lily to a community center every other weekend. Mia tried to reconnect with her, bringing coloring books or snacks, but Lily was guarded, sensing the fracture. I didn't badmouth Mia. Lily deserved to form her own feelings, but I made sure her world stayed stable. My business, Cole's Security Solutions, was booming. The Clarksville prison contract led to 3 more state projects, including a high-security barrier for a courthouse. My crew, Marcus, Jake, and a few new hires, worked overtime to meet deadlines. Clients praised our precision, and word spread. One afternoon, Marcus clapped me on the shoulder at a job site. Boss, you're building an empire here. What's driving you? Lily, I said. Everything's for her. But it was more than that. Every successful job was a middle finger to the chaos Mia and Caleb tried to drag me into. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. Emily Reed called one evening with a final update. Caleb's life is a mess, she said. He's still unemployed, living in a cheap apartment, and barely sees our kids. I sold the house and moved closer to my parents. The kids are doing okay, thanks to you. Not me, I said. You took the truth and ran with it. You gave me the chance, she insisted. Most people would have stayed quiet. You didn't. Her words stuck with me. Exposing Caleb wasn't just about justice for me, it gave Emily a path to protect her family too. Mia's life, meanwhile, was a shadow of what it had been. She'd moved into a small apartment outside Nashville, her reputation at the bank and in the community tarnished. The public divorce filing and whispers about her infidelity cost her friends and her volunteer role at Lily's school. She called me once, her voice fragile. Ethan, I'm trying to rebuild. Can we talk about more time with Lily? That's up to the court, I said. Prove you're trustworthy first. I hung up, feeling no guilt. She'd made her bed, and I wasn't here to soften the consequences. One night, while Lily did her homework at the kitchen table, she looked up. Daddy, I'm proud of you. Her words caught me off guard. Why's that, sweetheart? I asked, setting down my coffee. My teacher said strong people stand up for what's right, she said. You did that when Mommy hurt you. Her eyes were serious, and for a moment she seemed older than 8. I knelt beside her. I'll always stand up for you, I said. You're my number one. She hugged me, and I felt a peace I hadn't known since before the betrayal. That peace came from choices I'd made. I could have lashed out, confronted Caleb, or let anger consume me. Instead, I chose the high road, legal, calculated, and devastatingly effective. I hired a private investigator to uncover Caleb's details, sent Emily the truth, and let the dominoes fall. Caleb lost his job, his marriage, and his kids' respect. Mia lost her home, her social standing, and her claim to our daughter's trust. Either faced violence, just the weight of their own actions. I also made one final move to seal the chapter. I'd heard through Ryan that Caleb was trying to pitch himself to marketing firms in Nashville, hoping to start over. I contacted my PI, Laura Gaines, one last time. Send an anonymous tip to his potential employers, I said. Just the facts, his affair, the health risks, his firing in Atlanta. Nothing more. Done, Laura said. Within a week, she confirmed Caleb's applications were dead on arrival. Nashville's business community was tight, and nobody wanted a liability like him. As spring turned to summer, Lily and I found a new rhythm. We spent weekends hiking in Percy Warner Park, her small hand in mine as she chattered about school or soccer. Ryan and Sarah visited often, bringing their new puppy, which Lily adored. Ryan pulled me aside one day. "You're doing good, man," he said. "Lily's happy, and you're killing it. I'm sorry my wedding started this mess." "It didn't," I said. "Mia and Caleb made their choices. I made mine." He nodded, and we didn't need to say more. One evening, as I tucked Lily into bed, she handed me a drawing, a stick-figure family, just her and me, standing by a fence under a bright sun. "This is us," she said. "We're strong, right?" "Stronger than ever," I said, kissing her forehead. As I turned off her light, I realized she was right. Mia's betrayal could have broken me, but I refused to let it. I protected my daughter, rebuilt my life, and ensured justice without crossing into vengeance. Caleb and Mia would carry their consequences, but I was free to move forward. The moral wasn't about revenge, it was about truth. Exposing lies gave Emily and me the power to reclaim our lives. It taught Lily that integrity matters, that standing up for what's right isn't just strength, it's survival. As I looked at her drawing on my fridge later that night, I knew I'd made the right choices. My future wasn't defined by betrayal, it was defined by what I built next.